What's going on, people? Welcome to Chanzo Sports, and this is the review show here today. This show, I'm going to be talking about obviously Arsenal's 0-0 draw against Everton. Before I get into it, please like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. It really helps the channel, it really helps me out. So let's get into the game. And I got to start here for you. Arsenal 17 and Everton 13 have kept the most Premier League clean sheets in 2024. Everton have kept 6 clean sheets in the last 9 Premier League games, which is something I did say in the preview, but I failed to score in 6 of those matches during that period. So, yeah, I did say that Everton did have a good defensive record going into this game and actually had kept more clean sheets in that run of 5 games more than actual Arsenal. So that was something to look out for, and it ended up paying dividends because we couldn't break them down. We were trying different ways to try and do it. On the left-hand side, trying with Martinelli, Lewis Skelly, Marino, and then on the right-hand side, Saka, Odegaard, who didn't have a good game, and obviously Timber, who wasn't great either. So, yeah, a very, very disappointing result. And even after a couple of days, after thinking about it and obviously seeing City lose again, it's just really frustrating that we're not capitalizing on literally Manchester City having the worst form that I've seen in the last probably 10 years in terms of them only winning 1 out of 11 games. I do think that we need to be capitalizing on this bad run of form at City, because it's not going to last forever. I don't think. I think they're probably going to sign a couple of players in January to try and get the season back on track. And if that does happen, then they're going to be a team formidable again. So yeah, I'll go into obviously the game and obviously the stats. I've got some here. So Arsenal 76% possession, which was probably something that we all expected before the game. Everton were more than willing to give us the ball and just defend for the entire game to make sure they got a point, which they did. Everton had 23% possession. Shots, Arsenal had 13 and to Everton's 2 shots. I can't even remember what those Everton shots were. I don't know if they counted the one with Decore, which was blocked by Gabriel. I don't know if they count that one. They might have done. But yeah, they didn't really threaten at all, to be honest with you. Also had 5 shots on target, with Everton having no shots on target. Obviously, they'll be happy with that because they got the point. Total touches in the box. Arsenal had 49. Everton had 8. Goalkeeper saves. Graham obviously made none. Pickford made 5. Fouls, 6 for Arsenal, 9 for Everton. Corners. We actually had 8 corners and they only had 2. But I did say before it was the battle of the corners, and I think we kind of just both cancelled each other out. Just for the simple fact that Everton score from corners, we score from corners. But I suppose Everton are very good at defending them because they have Tarkowski, Brantwaite. These guys are, 6 foot plus defenders that love heading the ball out of the box. So yeah, not really a surprise about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, still disappointing, man. I think the fact that, like I said, Manchester City lost at the weekend to Manchester United at home means that even though we did gain a point on them, we could have been 5 points ahead of them instead of the 3 that we are, which is obviously only 1 win and 1 defeat for either team respectively. But yeah, looking at the table, it does leave Liverpool on 36 points, 11 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat, 31 goals scored, 13 against, goal difference of 18. Chelsea, 15 played, 9 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses, 35 goals scored, the most in the league, I believe. 18 conceded and on 31 points. So they're no, actually, this needs to be updated. Damn, this is an old table, man. They're all actually on 34 points now. So yeah, crazy. And then Arsenal, all right, played 16, won 8, drew 6, lost 2, scored 29 goals and conceded 15. Goal difference 14 and 30 points. So we're only actually 2 points ahead of Nottingham Forest, who are on 4th, having a great season, and 3 points ahead of Manchester City, who are actually obviously not having a good season. Yeah, disappointing, man. I think I echo a lot of Arsenal's fans' frustrations when I say that obviously this was not a very good weekend for us in terms of the drop points, and obviously the reaction from the Arsenal fans have been dividend that everyone's been disappointed, man. I think everyone expected us to win and probably win quite convincingly. I especially did in the preview. But yeah, I'll go to Mikel Arteta's transcript after the game. He was asked on the penalty claim. Now, there was obviously a penalty shout on, I think, Thomas Partey towards the end of the game. I think he's one of those ones where it's like a 50-50. If the referee, sometimes the referee will give that, sometimes they don't. I didn't think it was like a stonewall penalty. It was a bit of an awkward one, really. It was kind of one of those tackles where it looked like he kind of got a little bit of the ball, but after he made contact with the player, sometimes you get those, sometimes you don't. Obviously, Arteta said I haven't seen it, so I cannot comment on that, which is obviously pretty standard thing to say for Arteta. On the performance, I feel very disappointed not to win the game because obviously, if there's a team that deserved to win, there was only one, which was Arsenal. We gave nothing away, no shots conceded, dominated our play, not allowed them to run, no set pieces, high presses were excellent. Just obviously he's carried on a bit, man, but just obviously comment on that. I do think Everton did allow us the ball. They had no intentions of winning the game. Their mission throughout the game was to just nullify us, defend properly, and they'll get a point, which is an extra point they probably weren't thinking of getting because obviously they're in a relegation battle. They don't normally get points at the Emirates. As I said, they've lost the last two or three. By big margins as well, 4-0 and 5-1, and then obviously 2-1 last season. So yeah, they just wanted to defend, man. They didn't really want to come there and try and open up because obviously they know that we were going to pick them off if they did that. So I do think we kind of played into their hands in respects of him saying, obviously we dominated the play and we gave away no shots. I don't think they were really looking to create a lot of chances, if I'm being perfectly honest. We got them there. We generated the chances, but the last 20 meters was missing to score goals, which is what we have to do with all the dominance because we have never been able to dominate in that way. But at the end, you have to try and generate the highest winning probability. Now that you draw the game, you want more. But if we win it, we always want more. But I kind of ask much more from the boys apart from putting the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest with you. I think, again, we dominated the game in terms of possession, and we had a few. We had two chances. In my opinion, we had two chances where I think the player that had the chances, I expect them to score, which was Martin Odegaard in the first half. The one where he skied over the bar. I've seen him in that position before for Arsenal and put it in the back corner. The goal he scored against Man United last season, in a similar position where he buried it. And I've seen him score that as well in other games last season. So that's a chance I expect him to score. And definitely the one where Saka did fantastic work with his feet, dribbling 1-2s, and then squared it past him. And obviously hit straight at the keeper at Pickford. Them two chances I expect him to score. And obviously we would have won the game 2-0. But we didn't. So apart from that, I think the second half we weren't great at all. I think Saka had a volley, which was pretty much out of nothing, really. It was like a ricocheted effort. And then it fell to him in the box, and it was a good save. But we didn't create any clear-cut chances in that second half, to what I believe. So, yeah, I think we should be creating more at home, to be honest with you, especially when we got so much of the ball. Even though we did have the chances to still win the game, I think when you've not got a clinical goal scorer, like I've said before, you're literally relying on players that need 3, 4, 5 chances to score one goal because they're not clinical. That's the point in it. So yeah, we definitely have to create more. We have to find a way to create more chances to make sure we win more games. On the substitutions with Declan, I had to take him out because he was feeling something, and with Martin, it was a tactical decision to try and change the rhythm, especially on that side. So with the Declan Rice, obviously, a lot of people at the game were obviously complaining about Declan Rice being substituted. Obviously, I don't think they realised that he was feeling an injury. But on the stream, I remember saying that he did look like he's touching his groin as soon as he went off. So I did suspect it could be an injury because he doesn't really bring on Jorginho, especially when we're not winning the game. For Declan Rice in games, he normally lets Declan have the full 90 minutes. So I did think that he might be injured, and obviously he was coming off an injury. Was it the last England game? That period where obviously he broke his toe. Obviously this is a bit of a different injury. It looks like a muscle thing, but yeah. That was always the case with him. And then with Martin, at the time, I wasn't mad at it, to be honest with you. I know people have gone mad afterwards, but I think it's easy to do because if Ethan would have came on and scored the win goal, then everyone would have been going, oh, what an amazing change. So I wasn't mad at Odegaard getting subbed off because he was having a stinker. And I was saying at the time, obviously, these are the moments where you got to try and be brave and try and just change some things up. It might not work, but at least try and bring Ethan on a bit earlier. Obviously, Ethan didn't really do anything in the game, unfortunately for him, but obviously still a young, obviously teenager, finding his feet with obviously Arsenal and in the first team. But yeah, I didn't think Martin Odegaard was having a good game anyway, so I can see why, to be fair, he took him off. On whether the players were aware of the Liverpool score, well, I don't know. I wasn't, so I don't know. I don't think players should be focused on other scores, to be fair, unless it's like the last day. You just be focused on trying to win the game yourself and then worry about other results later. Because if you don't win your game, it's pointless worrying about other scores because you're not going to catch them up. So, yeah, on the disappointment at the draw, I'm very disappointed because when you do what you've done today against them, you have to win the game, you know. But at the end, this is football. It's the hardest thing, those last 20 to 25 meters to do what we have to do. Credit to them as well. How they blocked the shots, Jordan Pickford for the saves that he's made, the way they defended, the desire they defended with. But honestly, it's difficult to ask something else to the team. Individually, can we do things a little bit better and deliver more quality and deliver the magical moment? In that case, that is necessary, yes, but that's something that is not easy. Yeah, obviously, that's one thing that probably people have not been doing enough is giving credit to Everton because they did defend really, really well, putting their body on the line, blocks, headers out, etc. But I don't think we asked enough questions. I don't think we were innovative enough in terms, especially that left hand side. I don't think there was enough movement. I don't think there was enough quality in terms of the passing we were doing into our forward players. I don't think we asked nearly enough questions. It would be a bit different if it was the performance that we had, you know, against Leicester. Say if we would have drawn that 2-2, I would have been a bit more like, obviously, understanding and forgiving because their keeper was the man of the match. He was making mad saves everywhere, and we were peppering. Not only had that the possession, but we were peppering their goal, and the keeper was having a really good game. But this one, nah, it was one of those 0-0s where we had one or two chances, but we didn't really look like scoring in the second half, to be honest with you, even after he made the changes. And I do think when he made the changes, it unfortunately for Arteta, it made the team worse. The balance of the team wasn't as good as before. Obviously, especially when he moved Partey right back and Timber left back. I think that was like the key moment, really, when we lost all momentum and we didn't really create anything after that, for what I can remember. So yeah, man, I think Everton do deserve credit, but at the same time, I think we need more on that left hand side. Like I said in my fan cam, I think that left hand side is really, really hindering us in terms of being able to score goals because the right hand side has so much pressure on it, especially Saka, to deliver every single game. And obviously, he did it in the Champions League like 3 days ago. Like he nearly did it last week with the header, which obviously was offside. So yeah, he can't be doing it every game. Some other people have to step up as well. So yeah, and whether magical moments can be coached, that's difficult. At the end, you need a spark. You need to be precise. I mean, we had the chances that could have been 2 or 3-0, and nobody's talking about it. The reality is 0-0, and they're not going to talk about all the incredible things that the team did in the game. I mean, certainly it's not energy. When I see my team track back, it's unbelievable. Every 3 days, 70 meters, all the team is going there. So difficult to ask for them to do anything else because they want to. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to big up his own team, and he's not going to berate them, obviously, in press conference afterwards. But yeah, the tracking back, I think, to be fair, the team did work hard off the ball to try and win the ball back. That's why they had it so much. But I do think Everton kind of relinquished the fact that they weren't going to have a lot of possession. They were just going to give us the ball whenever they could and just defend it and try and hit us on the break. So, yeah, man, I think saying that we were doing incredible things is definitely a stretch. That's not what I saw in the game, to be honest with you. But hey-ho. On managing frustration, we have to manage the frustration. If nobody starts to speed up the game or there is no room to speed up, and we start to watch the game, we need to understand that nobody starts to force the opponent to make mistakes and to lose the grab of the game. We have to stay very far away from that. Yeah, again, I think that's what we were missing. I said before, like when Partey doesn't play in that midfield, we don't get that puncturing like pass that quickens up the play, that speeds up the play. We just get side to side, and it's very slow, very pedestrian. You're not going to break teams down like that because they've got every much chance just to get back into position, especially if they're doing 2 banks of 4. You need players that are going to speed up the tempo of the passing to make plays move out of position, so then you get that gap in space. On subbing Odegaard, if Ethan comes in and scores a goal, he's a great score. That's literally what I just said, to be fair. And to be fair, that's one thing I won't do in terms of like criticizing him not playing Ethan, but then when he plays Ethan, everyone's moaning that he's subbing off Odegaard. Well, which one you want? And then people are saying, why don't you play Odegaard and Ethan together? Which, yeah, maybe you could do that, but that's just another thing he's just not done yet, if that makes sense. Like, I think when he does something different, you've got to say he did something different, it didn't work. Not criticize the fact he did something different just because it didn't work. So, yeah, that's just football. Obviously, he took that risk, he didn't pay off. But, again, Ethan's come on and scored before. So, yeah, it's just one of those games where it just didn't happen this game, innit? On Odegaard's reaction to being sub, it was the same reaction as Martin anybody. I'm sure they want to continue to play for 90 minutes, but that's why we have subs to try and help the team. Yeah, I mean, that start scene about Odegaard is he's kind of mad. I can't even lie, man. Like, he's been subbed off 22 times where we've needed a goal in his Arsenal career, which is way too much for one being the captain and two being obviously the main creative spark that he's supposed to be. I think that's way too many times, to be honest with you. So that's definitely something that I think he and Arteta needs to fix in terms of keeping him on the pitch longer and him being able to produce more in games. So the fact that Arteta's thinking he can't take him off the pitch because he might do something. It'd be interesting to see how many times he's taken off Saka, because I can guarantee you it's less than double figures when we've needed to score a goal. On Declan Rice, he has been struggling with a little niggle for the last week or so. He had to be subbed off in that moment. We had to do it. So yeah, I mean, he might be a worry. I mean, I say a worry. I don't know if he would have played in the Carabao Cup game anyway, but that probably could be a good opportunity to rest him for like a week to make sure obviously he's back fitness for the Premier League game on Saturday against obviously Crystal Palace again. But if not, I think obviously Partey has to come back into the midfield. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, the thing is, I would say I was going to go strong, but the first teams aren't really performing well. So I feel like it might actually be good to see some other players, to see Ethan from the start, to see Sterling, just to try something else, try something a bit different. On 3 Premier League games without an open play goal in the Premier League, yeah, but we've scored 3 from open play 3 days ago. It won't continue. We will score goals. We will have the chances like we have done today. I'm sure we will score. Sounds like he's just hoping there. To be honest with you, like there's no real development to see that we're gonna not continue. Obviously, just relying on these tactics. I do think he has to try and change it up, whether it's personnel or what he's doing tactically, to try and get us a bit more fluid on the left. On developing Miles Lewis-Skelly, give him chances. If he keeps grabbing them like the way he's done today again, because I thought he was really good, he would continue to have chances because he deserved them. I thought he was decent, to be fair. I do think he probably could have done more of what he did on Wednesday, which was obviously trying to break through the lines with passing. I don't think it kind of worked out for him as much or as well as it did that game, but I do think he played okay, to be fair, in the game. But yeah, that's been the review really. Obviously that's what Arteta was saying. And yeah, it leaves us, like I said, 6 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool got game in hand against Everton, which will be played. I think I seen it will be February the 11th or something like that. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait until they play their game in hand to see if it's gonna be 6 or 9. But it could be even further if we drop FC any more points before February, which we probably will be. But now, man, we have to just move on now. I think everyone's giving up on the fact that we're not going to win the league this year. I just don't think just how the season's going with obviously the injuries, the red cards, how we're performing as players, the manager's decisions in terms of bringing on players and bringing off players and stuff like that, and how he's dealing with certain injuries. I think he's kind of panicking and just doing things that I don't think he should be doing. It's been a detriment to the team, taking out certain players and moving around different players, putting them out of position to fill a gap. I think it just weakens the team even more than he needs to be honest with you. But yeah, I think we just need to concentrate now on Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace is the game now where we need to try and get to at least I think we need to win it. We need to win this Carabao Cup. We've had a good run. We've had Bolton, Preston, Crystal Palace at home. I know they beat Villa in the last round, and it's obviously not going to be an easy game, especially if we're making changes and bringing in players that obviously are not as good as the first team players. But we're at home. We're going to have quite a lot of the ball. Hopefully, we can get a different kind of spark with Ethan, with Sterling, with probably Jesus is probably going to start as well. Or he might go stronger and start Havertz, give him some confidence, see if we can try and get a goal. But yeah, we'll see what the team is. But yeah, he has to take it seriously. We get it to the semis. It's potentially either Liverpool, Southampton, Newcastle, Brentford, and Man United. Tottenham will get in the semis if we win. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, that's been the review show. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. I'll be back with another video soon. So until then, like I always say, don't hate the player, hate the game.